Okay, this is how this whole thing started. 3 months back, I enrolled in an MFA program in film production. My first assignment was to make a short documentary in 15 or so weeks. I had a couple of ideas, but they ended up fizzling out, and I fell behind trying to move all my stuff, and my wife, from Denver to Dallas, where I was enrolled in school. 10 weeks before the film was due, I thought I'd just try to document my move. But packing boxes and loading trucks doesn't make for great cinema, and one of my friends, who was helping us move, packed my hard drives and laptop, making it impossible for me to shoot. Luckily, I had my Super 8 camera, and I was able to shoot some, but the panhandle of Oklahoma isn't too exciting, and I don't really want to show it to you. Besides, it doesn't really matter, because this film isn't about my move, it's about something else now, and I don't know if you'll be able to relate. Here's the problem. I don't know what it means to have a sense of place. The thing that makes this harder is that people seem to think that this is odd. People in my class tell me I should talk to my mother about this, see what she has to say. But I have issues with putting family on film. I think my mother will be hurt by my questioning. I'm afraid my questioning will make her feel like she didn't provide a good home. Some filmmakers think it's okay to invade people's lives in search of some truth. I don't know if I agree. I figure I can work my way around this problem by talking to a good friend of mine. I've known my buddy Pete since I was 10, when we were growing up in New England together. I know he doesn't mind being on camera. And his fiancée Tanisha usually has some pretty good insights as well. The only thing is, talking about this makes me more disoriented.
I function on
say this is home base.
the assumption that like each individual in their
make this
life
your center
is
of gravity.
here to learn
Be a
what they're
planet
gonna learn
and let them
like,
orbit
separate
you
from
instead of
everyone
trying
else.
to orbit
And I
everybody
don't
else.
think
My
that
sense of home
everyone
here in
needs
place, which was not
a,
easily
like,
arrived at.
physical
It took me a
address.
decade out of college.
So
to
like
finally
I would
start
say
to put
like
my roots down.
everyone's idea of home is different, and maybe your home is motion. Maybe that's your home. Maybe that's what you're used to. Maybe that's where you find comfort. I could not do that. That would make me insane.
Chalk it up to an intellectual thing. Maybe this place you exhausted its intellectual and cultural possibilities.
Okay, so then my side of like wanting to buy a home was just I've moved every year for the past 10 years and not out of state in Colorado, and I know where I live in Colorado and I know where I want to be, and I am tired.
Yeah. Well, they say the average person moves to like they say that
so many times.
the average person moves 8 times in their life before they stop and settle down, and I think everyone here on this patio has exceeded that easily.
Yeah.
When we end the interview, I'm just as confused as when I started, but I'm grateful for their help. And I asked them one last question. Do they think I should talk to my mother?
I don't think your mom, I don't see Mary receiving that well. I feel like Mary would, I feel like it would be harmful to her.
I do too.
What, to answer that question? That's what I mean. It's nothing to do
I
with
know,
her. She
and
provided.
I don't know that she would have any
She,
insight so much as it would be like an
Your
issue.
your mother provided the best of her ability, and she did a great job as a single parent for you and your brother.
And I've only met her a couple times, and just like such a kind heart.
Yeah.
As I leave, I can't help but feel that my question remains. What does it mean to have a sense of place? My friends were helpful, and they seem to agree that bothering my mother with the question is problematic, but I still feel like something's missing. I noticed neither of them spoke much about place in an environmental kind of way, and that's a big part of who I am. When I was a teenager, I spent a lot of time outside. I learned how to identify all the trees in the forest around me. I became hyper-aware of their shapes, their textures, the way their leaves smell when crumbled. I remember thinking that each place had its particular appeal. It seemed to me that there was enough wonder in 1 square mile for a lifetime of explorations. Why would anybody move? I thought about a poem I once heard. I compared the experience of taking a motorboat and a canoe out on a lake. In a canoe, it takes hours to paddle around a lake, to get to know it, to really see it. In a motorboat, it takes minutes. Now I was speeding around the lake again, and I wondered why I didn't just stay put. I mean, we had some pretty great friends in Denver. They even threw us a big party before we left town. I wanted to talk to somebody else about my problem, and I decided I better ask my wife. When we finally sat down to talk, I was under a lot of pressure. The film was due in 3 weeks, and I felt like I was forcing the issue. But just as I was getting ready to shelve the question, we hit upon a recurrent theme.
I don't think your sense of place is going to be found in a geographical location. I think it's going to be around your relationships that you have with others, and that's going to be your sense of place.
I think you're right. I think that like your sense of belonging and your sense of home are connected to people, but like just this connection to place that I think I'm learning. I equate it to a connection with the land.
What was it like for you to be on Mount Sneffels? Because for me, it was like What's your thoughts on this mountain?
Are you taking video?
I am.
It's a great mountain.
It was a good mountain. Did you like the summit?
Yeah, it was great.
It was good.
Good views.
Good views.
Everyone was telling me that a sense of place was tied to people and relationships. But for me, having a sense of place means being tied to some land. My wife's bringing up our hike on Mount Sneffels made me finally accept this. I don't live at 14,000 feet, but I sure do feel at home when I'm in the wilderness. Whatever other people claim makes up their sense of place, mine is connected to the natural world, and unfortunately I'm not spending enough time in it. I'm not sure how I'm going to remedy this, but I'm pretty sure making films about my sense of place won't help. I mean, you can't always look at the world through a viewfinder, or through some TV or computer monitor. Sometimes you just have to get out there and get dirty. There isn't much more to say. I really thought this film would end as a question, but I'm happy I found my answer. And if you're wondering if I ever ended up asking my mother, you'll be surprised to know that I did. When we finally talked, I wasn't so interested in the question anymore, and there were some comical technical difficulties. I don't hear. Oh, it's connecting, ringing.
You want the shot looking like that the whole time?
For a little while. Then I'm going to want to go to the other side and look at, you know what I mean?
Okay.
Hello? Whoa, your voice sounds crazy. You sound like a chipmunk. I can't understand you. I can't understand you. You sound like you just had a balloon of helium.